Today we are going to learn how to multiply a 2-digit by 2-digit number using a standard algorithm with regrouping. A ferry carried 37 cars per trip on the weekend. If the ferry made 11 trips on Saturday and 13 trips on Sunday, how many cars did it carry on the weekend? Our question is asking us, how many cars did it carry on the weekend? We know that it carried 37 cars per trip. It also made 11 trips on Saturday and 13 trips on Sunday. We want to find out how many cars did it carry on the weekend. Since the weekend includes Saturday and Sunday, this is a two-step problem. First, we have to figure out the total number of trips on Saturday and Sunday. There are 11 trips on Saturday and 13 trips on Sunday for a total of 24 trips for the weekend. Now, we need to multiply 24 trips times 37 cars per trip. If we were going to multiply by using the boxes, we would separate 37 into 30 and 7, like they did at the top. Then separate 24 into 20 and 4. And then we would multiply using partial products and add them together. Today we are going to be doing it a different way, the standard way. So I'm going to record this work. Please do it with me. We have 24 times 37. It doesn't matter if you write the 37 first or the 24 first because of the commutative property of multiplication. When we are multiplying, we are going to start with the ones place, like we normally would. So first we are going to multiply the 7 times 4. And 7 times 4 is 28. Instead of writing 28 down, we're going to write down the 8 and regroup our 2. Next, we're going to multiply our ones place by our tens place. So we are going to multiply 7 times 2, which is 14, plus 2 more, which is 16. We are not finished. So far, we have only multiplied the ones place. Now, we are going to multiply the tens place. Since this number is actually 30 and not 3, we are going to place our 0. That is the first step when multiplying the tens place in a 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication problem. The second step is going to be that we are going to erase what we already regrouped because we don't want to get confused. Now we can go ahead and multiply. So now we are going to multiply our tens place by our ones place. So we've already placed our 0. So we know 3 times 4 is 12. Put down your 2 and regroup your 1 over both tens. Now we are going to multiply 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 1 more is 7. Last step, we are going to add the digits together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. And 1 plus 7 is 8. So, to answer our question of how many cars did it carry on the weekend, we have 888 cars. If you're multiplying using a standard algorithm and you get confused, you are always welcome to use the boxes. Let's also round our answer to check to see if it is reasonable. By using compatible numbers, I can round 24 to 25. And I would round 37 to 40. Now, I know that 25 times 4 is 100. And then I'm going to add my extra 0 and I would get 1,000. 1,000 is close to 888, so therefore my answer is reasonable. Let's try a few more problems together to make sure that we have a good understanding. Go ahead and write this problem in your notebook. We are going to do 54 times 23. Always start with your ones place. First, we're going to multiply 3 times 4, which is 12. Put down your 2 and regroup your 1. Next, we're going to multiply 3 times 5, which is 15, plus 1 more is 16. We have not done anything with this 2 yet, but we're about to now. Before we can do anything by multiplying our tens place, do the 2 steps. 1, you're going to write a 0 down to hold the place. And 2, you're going to erase what you regrouped. Now we can multiply. So we have 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 5 is 10. Then all we're going to do is add these two groups of numbers, which are also partial products. 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 8 is 14. Put down your 4, regroup your 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, and then we can place our 1. If you are not sure and you would like to create a box, you are welcome to do that. We would divide 54 into 50 and 4. We would divide 23 into 20 and 3. And saying divide is not the correct word. What I mean is we're just expanding the numbers. So 54 expands into 50 plus 4, and 23 expands into 20 plus 3. Now we're going to make our partial products by multiplying the boxes. 2 times 5 is 10, then add the 2 zeros. 20 times 4 is 80, 3 times 50 is 150, and 3 times 4 is 12. Then you would just go and you would add your partial products. So we have 1,000, 150, 80, and 12. If we add them up, regroup your 1, and you should get the same answer. Please go ahead and write this in your math notebook. Steps before multiplying the tens place. Step 1, place a 0 to hold the ones place. Step 2, erase what you regrouped. We are going to practice doing this with 2 more problems. Here we go. Go ahead and multiply 45 times 36. First, we're going to multiply our ones place. 6 times 5 is 30. Put your 0 and regroup your 3. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 more is 27. Now we're going to use our steps. So before we multiply our tens place, which is the 3, first we're going to place a 0 to hold our ones place, because we're not really multiplying 3, we're multiplying 30. Then we're going to erase what we regrouped. Now you are all set to multiply the tens place. So we're going to multiply 3 times 5, which is 15. Put your 5 and regroup your 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. And then you can add the partial products. And you should get 1,620. If we're going to round to see if our answer is reasonable, 45 rounds to 50, 36 rounds to 40, and 40 times 50 is 2,000. 1620 is close to 2,000. Let's try one more. I'm going to draw a line to separate my work. Let's multiply 25 times 38. First, start with your ones place. 8 times 5 is 40. Put your 0, regroup your 4. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 more is 20. Now we're ready for the tens place. But before we can multiply our tens, we have to use our 2 steps. Step 1, place a 0 to hold your ones place. Step 2, erase what you regrouped. Now we are ready. Now we're going to multiply our tens. We have a 3 in our tens place. 3 times 5 is 15. Put down your 5, regroup your 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Add them together, and you should get 950. Let's do our guided practice together. Number 1. The ferry made 18 one-way trips on Monday and 18 one-way trips on Tuesday. It carried 21 cars on each trip. How many cars were ferried on Monday and Tuesday? Use estimation and mental math to check if your answer is reasonable. So we want to find out how many cars were ferried on Monday and Tuesday. This is a 2-step problem. We know that they have 18 trips on Monday and 18 on Tuesday. So the first thing we need to do is add 18 plus 18, and we would get 36. Now, if it carries 21 cars on each trip, I know that I need to multiply 36 times 21. Let's start with our ones place. We have 1 times 6 is 6. Then we're going to multiply 1 times 3, which is 3. We're going to use our 2 steps. First, place a 0 to hold your ones place. Next, erase what you regrouped. Although we didn't regroup anything, so we can skip that step. Now we're going to multiply our tens place. So first multiply your tens by your ones. So 2 times 6 is 12. Put your 2, regroup your 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. Now we can add them up, and we get 756 cars. Let's check to see if our answer is reasonable. I would round 36 to 40, and I would round 21 to 20. 20 times 40 is 800. 800 is close to 756, so I would say yes, our answer is reasonable. Now let's do number 2. Number 2, it says, use an algorithm or partial products to find the product. Estimate to check if your answer is reasonable. They already did some of this for us, so I'm going to fill in the boxes. First, we're going to multiply 3 times 1, and 3 times 1 is 3. Then we would multiply 3 times 4, and 3 times 4 is 12. They already have that down. I'm going to rewrite the problem right here. We have 41 times 23. Let's do that part again. First, we multiply 3 times 1 is 3, then 3 times 4, which is 12. So your top box should have 123. Next, we're going to do step 2, and we're going to place a 0 to hold our ones place, which they've already done. And we don't need to regroup anything or erase what we regrouped because we did not regroup anything. Then we're going to multiply 2 times 1 is 2, which they have written for us already. Then 2 times 4 is 8. So that would be your missing number. Next, we're just going to add up the partial products. So we have 3, 4, and 9. 943. If I'm going to round this to see if it is reasonable, 41 rounds to 40. 23, we could either use 25, which it would be closer to, or we could use 20. I'm going to use 25. I know 25 times 4 is 100. Then add a 0. 1,000 is definitely close to 943. In this problem, it said we could use the algorithm or partial products. In all of the problems below, you can do it any way you feel comfortable. If you would rather use the boxes and partial products, go ahead and use the boxes. If you would rather use the standard algorithm by regrouping, go ahead and use that. Do what works best for you. I would like you to please do the even numbers on page 221. And on page 222, go ahead and do problem 18. Then come show me your work. I know you guys can do it.